the live stream is actually live. Whoops. Let me do this. There we go. There we go. Hopefully you're not live streaming yet.
No.
Okay, good, good,
No.
good. I just
Okay,
wanted to
I
have this before we start the live stream, and then as soon as we do the live stream, then I will turn it off.
okay, so I will admit all now. Okay?
Yes. Fabulous.
And I'll start streaming.
Now hold
Fabulous.
on a second.
Oh,
Let's first have Hannele join.
hello, hello. Welcome, 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 everyone. So great to see all of you. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
We will get started here in just a moment.
The tribe is gathering.
Yay.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Welcome, 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 everyone. We are still getting everything set up, but as you join, if you'd like to type in the chat where you are residing, where you're joining us from, we would love to hear from you. So if you want to do a quick hello before we get started, and then we'll be streaming here shortly. So welcome, welcome, welcome to everyone. Great to have you here.
Today I'm not joining from Bulgaria, I'm joining from Milan.
Oh, exciting. Way. Yay. Beautiful, beautiful. Great. So we have Lori from Ensenada, California, and Sonia from Amsterdam, and Ricardo from Portugal. Andre from Portuguese roots in Germany, Melt from Germany. That's one of the things I love, love, love about human design, BG5, this whole community is how international we are, uh, to really connect with people around the world is fabulous. Beautiful. And San from the Netherlands, welcome, welcome. And again, if you're here, if you want to just type in where you are joining us from, just to connect before we get started. And you'll let me know. We have the recording started, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, but we're not live yet, correct?
No.
Okay. All right. So just let me know when we are live on Facebook. Excellent.
Sorry, Karen, I was trying to hit the button admit and then something changed.
No problem. No problem.
It was quicker
Hello.
than me.
Hello,
Sonia.
Lydia from Germany and Doris from Holland. Casper from Norway. Welcome, welcome. Great to have all of you here. Fabulous. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Beautiful.
Ready
And
for the
we will.
hot topic, guys?
It couldn't be hotter, I would say. This is as hot as it gets. Shall I start streaming? What do you think?
Yeah, I think you can, yeah.
All right.
Welcome, welcome, everyone. We're going to be going live here shortly. Hey, Margot. Great to have you here from London. Welcome, welcome.
Ah, Hannele is here. Yep.
Oh, wonderful. Excellent. And we're going to be going live here shortly. So hang tight as we get things up and running and live.
Preparing the live stream, it says.
Fabulous. Well, we're going to be going live here shortly. So hang
I
tight.
think we're live now.
Excellent. All right. I think we are now currently live on Facebook. So welcome, 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 everyone. I am going to turn off my sharing so we can see everyone as well. Fabulous. Well, hello, hello, and welcome everyone. I am so excited to have you all join us. And we are going to be diving into a juicy topic today. So, welcome to the Voices of the Festival. My name is Karen Sherwood. I will be your host in walking you through this exciting topic. So, this is really these voices of the festival are an open discussion to really build connection that really leads us into the International Human Design Festival and Immersion that's happening in January in Sofia, Bulgaria, both in person and online. So I'm really, really excited for you to join us in this juicy topic for today. So today we are going to be taking a look at intimacy and sex. So, we're going to be taking a look at the mechanics of attraction, bonding, and sexual chemistry. So, today we're going to dive deep into a topic that's often whispered about but rarely explored with the depth that it deserves, which is intimacy and sex through the lens of human design. So, today we're going to break down some of the taboos. We're going to share some deep, profound insights, and we're also going to reveal how understanding your unique design can also revolutionize your connection and also your pleasure. And it isn't just about relationships. It's also about reclaiming our authentic power and experiencing intimacy within ourselves at a whole new level. So, before I introduce our amazing guests, I want to do a quick shout out to the festival organizers, Veronica and Lucretia, who have been doing an amazing job of putting this all together um, and putting together this incredible experience, both in person and online. So I would love to hear real quickly from Veronica and Vanessa, or Veronica and Lucretia, if there's any if there's anything that you would like to share or say. Or just introduce yourself and anything you'd like to say before we jump into this exciting topic.
Well, welcome everybody. We are so glad to have you, and it's such a privilege for us to be presenting to you all these lovely speakers that we have invited to the festival live and online. I'm Veronica, and for 15 years in human design. I'm an analyst, cosmologist, um, child development specialist, and for me, I'm so humbled by all of our speakers and by you guys joining us and being together, sharing our experience, our passion, human design, talking the same language, and just connecting and being. So welcome.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you so much, Veronica and Lucretia.
Yes, hello from me as well to everybody who are watching now or who are going to be watching the recording. Very happy and thrilled to be here and to be doing this um, provocative talk. Because sex and intimacy is always a topic that can provoke you in many different ways, and most of the times, to my experience, we are surprised what is coming out of us because it's something really sacred. So my name is Lucretia, one of the organizers, and just little bit about me. I have also been in human design for 15 years, doing my own practice. I have been supporting people in simply living from their most authentic energy. Yeah, and I'm really curious how this talk today is going to develop, intimacy and sex, as they are the deepest expressions of our design, if you think of it. When we approach these topics from the lens of human design, we begin to understand why we open, why we close, what we crave, and what our unique energetic blueprint truly needs in order to feel safe, connected, and alive. So I'm really excited to explore this topic with you today, guys. Thank you.
Yay! Well, thank you so, so much, Lucretia. And I am super excited about introducing our guests. So, after I introduce each of you, if each of you could say a brief hello and then share a little bit about why you are excited to discuss this topic of intimacy and sex today. And then after we've introduced each of you, then we're going to dive into the discussion. And for anyone who is here live in our Zoom room, please feel free to comment or ask your questions in the chat. And also, then at the end, we'll open it up to also hear your viewpoints and your questions and your ahas about this intimate topic of intimacy and the mechanics of attraction, bonding, and sexual chemistry. So, with that, I want to start by introducing Talis. He is a 1-3 projector, and he's going to be both live in person. So, I can't wait to meet you live in person. And he's going to be presenting the pressure above and the pressure from below uh, in person in Sofia, Bulgaria for the
Yes.
live festival. And then also you're doing an open mic as well with Living the Experiment Together. So I would love to hear a little bit about you. You again, you're one of the largest German human design communities on Facebook. You have one of them, and you're also really a visionary and the coordinator of a lot of different spaces. The Human Design Cafe and the co-living experiences and study groups and creative projects that really make human design tangible. So I'd love to hear a little bit, just if you can say a quick hello, and also what really excites you about talking about this topic of sex and intimacy.
Well, I mean, you already said everything, so it's pretty easy for me. Some people know me already. I see some faces that I know personally, and some faces I just know through Facebook. Thank you for the invitation, by the way. It's very nice to be here. When it's
Yes, and
about this, sorry.
oh, go ahead,
Yeah,
please.
when it's about intimacy, sorry, my open throat, it takes time. So when it's about intimacy, this comes from the Latin word intimus, and that means the most inner or the inmost, something that is the interior of a person. Human design, for me, represents that. Human design is a knowledge that can show us in a very simple way what is the inmost of a person that maybe only the person, if even, knows. Uh, So that human design and intimacy goes hand in hand. It's obvious, yeah. And I
Mm.
have a completely open cycle, so I really like to talk about intimacy, sexuality, relationships. I'm about, I'm third quarter. This just fits. So for me, this was like, oh, that's a nice invitation for this Monday evening to talk about, and I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, beautiful. I can't wait to dive into this discussion. Thank you so much, Talis, for being here. And let's move on to Hannele. I think I'm saying that correctly, hopefully. So Hannele is going to be delivering online the reflection of the fates in Gate 30. That is really looking at the mutation and the role of the 30th gate and the importance of recognition, the recognition of feelings as a way for humanity to also deal with emotions. So I would love for you to say hi and a little bit about what excites you about this topic about intimacy and sex.
Well, hello. I'm really glad to be here. Um, it is a subject that is maybe not that interesting to me, to be fair. Like I happen to have only one channel, and that's the channel of intimacy. And I was actually contemplating this today, and it's like we are always interested in what we are not. So I have a lot of
Mm.
open centers, and this is the only center, only the definition that I have, and it's not that interesting to me, you know. But however, I responded to being here, and I guess it's always an opportunity for me because I'm a fifth line and I'm a bit of a heretic, so I can bring up maybe slightly different perspective on things, and maybe
Mm.
not, you know. But maybe if talking about what's exciting me about this talk is like, well, let's just see what comes out of me because I have no
Mm.
idea. So
Mm.
it's a nice way to kind of an opportunity to express myself. So I'm appreciative of the opportunity. So thank you for inviting me to be here.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here, Hannele. And I really am looking forward to what you have to share. Beautiful. And then let's move on to Alexandra. Alexandra is going to be speaking on day 4, also part of the open mic on Jupiter Returns, which sounds amazing and fascinating. And so, if you would like to say just a few words, Alexandra, say hi and what fascinates you about this topic of sex and intimacy.
I'm glad you said the word fascinates because when you said excited, I felt awkward because I can't say that I feel excited. But in terms of being fascinated, oh yes,
Mhm.
because I am fascinated. mm, I would say not with the topic itself, though it is very deep, revealing, juicy, and so forth and so on. I am fascinated to meet you, meet
Mm.
Hannele, meet Talis, and see all the other beautiful people. What I enjoy is to see different people and to hear different, unique experiences. This is so juicy. This is so sexy for me. Yeah, you can hear
Oh,
it.
I love that you said that because I think that's a beautiful introduction into really exploring this topic and the mechanics of attraction and bonding and sexual chemistry and how it can open up, in a sense, the deeper, authentic way that we also see ourselves and what intimacy is at a whole new level. And it's interesting because we are moving into a brand new era. And what is sex and what is intimacy going to look like as we move into the new era? I know part of the new era also contains the 59. I also have the 59.6 as well. So I'm curious, who would like to start in kind of exploring this topic? And again, we'll bounce ideas off of each other and we'll see where this all ends up. But I'm really curious, since we are right at the precipice of this change in the new era, what is sex and intimacy, and how does that relate, and how is it going to change as we move forward into 2027? Anyone want to jump in and take a look at the first the first look into what this sex and intimacy is all about? Yes, Talis.
Well, I don't know what the future will bring. I guess nobody knows that. I just know that there is the idea that it can change, that it may change, that perhaps we have a different kind of sexuality. I mean, first line research, I see clearly that I mean, if you just go to normal resources, you check Google, whatever, or you go to some institute that makes research about fertility rates, and even Ra mentioned this, and I was like, ah, is this really true? You know, is it really going down? Is it really like that? I don't know, Spain or Europe in all is going down in fertility rates, meaning, for example, also less sexuality lived out and so on. And it's true. It goes down. You know, the numbers that I saw, it was okay. It's not like 100 years ago. Why that is, I don't know. Maybe it's the mutation. Maybe it's just people are overwhelmed because you're bombarded with media and you get kind of addicted. You need dopamine rushes. It's more interesting to swipe some stuff instead of looking at your partner. So I don't really know what's going on with that. And I guess we will see if it really is a change after this mysterious 2027 thing and what will come. Um, yeah, that's what I can say right now from the top of my head.
Yeah. And how would you say that sex and intimacy mm, is right now that can help us, especially utilizing human design to help us in the present, in right now, in understanding what intimacy is, what sex is, what connection is?
I guess the most people, when we're, let's polarize a bit, most people are not self. This is what we say in human design. Let's say most are. That also means they never had true self sex, intimacy. They had not self sex. They had sex through a mask, like in these Venetian theaters that they have the masks and meat. So, in my personal experience, through living my design as radical as possible, sexuality and relationship changed completely. It's not what I've known because you have your conditioning, you have your patterns like, this is this and this is that, and you categorize it, that's it, you never think about it anymore. This is how I act, this is how I react. But through strategy and authority, especially as a projector, this changes drastically. I mean, as a male projector, you're not here to initiate. But as a man, you should do the first step and you should invite her out and you blah, 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 you need to make the first kiss and it's not my role. I mean, I tried this many years and it always failed. It's not like that this is something that I can do, even though my mind says, but you need to and you blah, blah, blah. It's not how it works. And then to have understanding from the other side to actually see that, respect that. That's also not always given. You can live your design however you want. You can be true self, but you still live in a not self world. You never forget that. Yeah, this is also some resistance you will always meet. I mean, you need to be lucky. I have 46-1 in my personalities, and so I guess I have some kind of serendipity to be in the right places in the right time. But I guess not everybody has that. So we need to be need to have some clear view on this too. It's not like a promise. Oh, you live your strategy and authority, you will have great sex. I don't know if that's true. It can be, but it's not a promise.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Amazing perspective. And to think of the world that we live in, again, that perspective of most people aren't living true to their design. And what could intimacy potentially be when we are truly living our design? It's a totally different type of intimacy. I would love to hear, Alexandra, how it shows up for you. Oh, it looks like you're muted.
Yeah. When I was thinking about today's meeting, I thought, oh, well, yeah, Hannele may be in the mood to be social. Yeah, she may say something, share something. Yeah, Talis can feel invited and, yeah, share something. And, yeah, well, uh, I am totally unemotional. No gate whatsoever in solar plexus. First, I am not a tribal person. No tribal channels. What? Two tribal gates. But anyway, I have open spleen. So I'm just a pure tantric generator, which is kind of so unemotional that sometimes it seems that I'm autistic, you know? So I was hearing right now uh, the things that you have said, Talis, and I thought that in this process of anchoring in strategy and authority, you see that you don't do it. You see that you don't force anything, and you don't do it. And if it happens, it happens. And if it happens correctly, yeah, well, you see it is satisfying or not. You see, and beyond satisfying, you see if there is some more behind it, not only, oh, satisfying, not satisfying. I have had uh, incorrect sex, frustrating, and this is a suicidal feeling. It is a very deep frustration. I don't wish anyone to experience it anytime. But, um, well, if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. And when I um heard about the topic of intimacy and sex, it is obviously saying that these are not necessarily the same thing.
Mm.
Absolutely not necessarily. Yeah, intimacy can be so many things, so very different things. And in my process, I saw that for me, it is absolutely clear that is for me, it is about the other. The other brings so much. The other brings what is hot or not. The other brings so much, and this so much that the other brings comes into me and vibrates in me so powerfully. So I can go crazy. So for me, it 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 is also Talis says that, oh yeah, the male projector, and I am uh, pure generator male. It is also a very interesting joke, you know. You're waiting
Yeah.
and you're like, "Nah, nah, 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 nah," and if energy moves, it moves, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. And it doesn't matter if you feel awkward a lot of time, but it is also a very, very funny joke, especially when you communicate with a female manifester. Yeah, but
Wow.
when I was listening to uh, your voice, the voices of other people, I connect to people through voices a lot
Mm.
because I have three individual channels. I have Acoustic Mind 4323, and uh, I don't have almost none no gates that look at solar plexus. Yes, I have
Mm.
two, gate 19 and gate 39, but they are dormant gates, you know. So absolutely kind of empty person in terms of sexuality part. But anyway, they do something. They have their predisposition. But what I saw is that what can turn me on instantaneously and very powerfully is the acoustic.
Mm.
Oh my God. I can
Mm.
even don't see, don't smell, don't anything, but acoustic. Oh, yo, 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 yo. This goes so deep and can trigger very unexpected flashes. Yeah. So there is a very uh, yeah, little predisposition to my unique yeah, sexual experience that goes from inside, you know? The very little amount of things that I see and I discover, but a very, very, very big part comes from the outside. If it comes, you know, it's not like,
Yeah.
oh, I chase it. And it's not like I want to run away. Yes, I want to run away. I'm a 2-4. No, no, I want to run away from it. Barriers, barriers, barriers. But when you stop running and you let energy move, yeah, it takes you in amazing places, though in your head when it starts you hear your mind screaming, what are you doing? Are you crazy? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? What yeah, this is so
Wow.
funny to see how chemistry that starts working starts blowing your mind out, and how it resists. Like, I'm serious. I'm not like this. This is very funny. So
Wow.
I am definitely, if I can say this, I am an acoustic lover, I would
Uh,
say.
I love that. And it's interesting. You just kind of had a gave me a aha as well, is that, each of us have our own flavor of intimacy. It may be
Hmm.
acoustic, it may be through touch, it may be through sight. We each have something inside of us, like you said, for that the other brings us that can turn us on or not. And I'm really curious, and thank you so much, Alexandra. I love the insights. And again, looking at not being emotional and what does sex and intimacy look like in not being emotional. I'd love to hear from Hannele what it's like for you being emotional and having the 59.6.
Oh, it's a wild ride, but I don't want to go there immediately. I want to kind of like respond to what's been already said. And Talis was saying about like the world has been the not self all this time. So I am not sure how much of, I mean, I don't know people's experiences, right? But I would question how much of true intimacy has been felt in humanity up to this point,
Mm,
because nobody's living, I mean, I'm not saying nobody, but so many people are not living as their true self. And to me, intimacy, like Alexander, you said, it can be so many things. And when I'm thinking about intimacy, where my mind goes first is authenticity. It's about, being yourself. Because how can you be intimate with anybody if you're not yourself? Or if you're pretending to be someone you're not? Because then you're kind of like living a lie. You're living a wrong, somebody else's life. It's not even yours. So how is there any room for intimacy there? So first and foremost, it's about being real, being true to yourself. The second thing that I would think in there is me as an emotional, now going into that, is that, so touching on the 30th gate, I mean, I have that as my personality sun. So one of my biggest processes about getting to know myself is through recognition of my feelings. And of course, like, we as emotional people, we've been conditioned all our lives to not be emotional, to not, not go there, not feel the negative feelings, for example. So, it's been a process to really get deep into myself, to understand what I'm feeling, so that I can be first of all, I can be honest with myself, because that's the only place I can share that honesty and intimacy with someone else. So for me, it's like I don't want to say I have to be, I want to say I'm I'm happy to be constantly checking on myself and like where's my vibration at in terms of my own acceptance, because that's the level of intimacy I can then bring to other people, of course. And the other thing I wanted to kind of mention, because you talked about the acoustics, is that whenever I'm looking at gates, I'm always looking at the polarities and also the electromagnetic. So when we're looking at the channel of intimacy, I think most people always talk about the 59. They always talk about the 59 because it's the available, and it's actually in the sacral. So, when you talk about sex is not just a solar plexus thing, it's actually a sacral thing. Sacral is the choose to the action, the energy to, do the action. So everybody's always looking at the 59. And the 6 is actually very closed, it just opens up every once in a while and then it closes again. But when you look at the 59, what you have as a polarity is a 55, right? And 55 is very attuned to acoustics. It's a gate of spirit. So when we're looking at the intimacy, especially from my side, and I have both 59 and 56, 55, is that for me, intimacy is ultimately about spirit and the spiritual connection with someone. And then like and talking about like, okay, if you think about sexually what turns you on, some people it could be like visuals, somebody be acoustics. For me, it's a level of intelligence. And I'm relating that to, like having the 55 and the 30, because they're both in the quarter of initiation, which is about mind. It's about, concepts, it's about consciousness. So for me, like if there's someone who's going to trigger any kind of response in me to want to be intimate with them, there has to be a level of intelligence or consciousness or awareness and authenticity for me to be even remotely interested, which is it's quite a trick these days because most people they're not attuned like that, because we live the not self world. So, and that's not to say that it's wrong, by the way. I don't want to have a judgment on anybody because we live what we live and we do the best we can do in our lives based on our circumstances. And so I would even go as far as you don't need to be in human design to be authentic. You don't. It's not. I mean, ultimately for me, it's about strategy and authority because I've been doing this for so long. I mean, I get that, and it's mechanics, and it works. But if you just authentically you and you live like that, then there's a big potential to have the capacity to be intimate with someone. But if you're living a not self life, you don't know what you're feeling, you don't know who you are, then the level of intimacy you can bring is it's not very deep. I mean, again, going into for me like the 59-6 is a channel that wants to go into depth of things. It wants to go really, really deep. Like I want to explore what intimacy is. I want to explore about people. I want to know them very well. There's all this aura breaking stuff that's happening. So if there's no depth in a person, then there's nothing there for me. And that's the kind of way yeah, you see that.
Yeah, beautifully said. I can relate to everything that you said. I also have the 59-6 and the 30 and the 55. And I
Oh,
and I find it quite fascinating that again, as we move into this new era, we have in a sense sort of the 55 and the 59 as really part of what we're moving into in this new era. And the way that I see it, and I love how you described it, Helen, or Hannele. I
Hannele.
love how Helen.
Hannele.
Sorry, Hannele.
Yeah,
Hannele.
if you
There
put
we
the
go.
H at the end of my name, then you probably say it right.
Hannele.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, in my classes, I often mess up people. There's certain people that I mess up their name for a long, long time, and I finally get it. And so thank you for correcting me there. Um, but what I have found also, and what I relate so deeply to, and how I see things moving forward into this new era, is that the more that we are ourselves with that abundance of spirit, with that deep, in a sense, intimacy starts with, and I think both Talis and Alexander also talked about this, the intimacy starts within yourself. Otherwise, as Talis said, you're just simply wearing a mask. And when you are truly connected to your spirit, I believe moving forward in the future, we can connect to others in a deeper, more intimate way than we've never ever connected before. As you said, most people don't have that experience of that deep connection because I think we've been conditioned to be separate. If you take a look at what we're coming from the era of planning, where it really is been sacrificing yourself for the good of the tribe. And when we can truly connect to ourselves, then truly deeply connect intimately with others, what we can create, because again, the 59-6 is also a deeply, deeply creative channel. And I look at it from the business perspective. So not so much from the sex and intimacy side. However, when you create a business or when you create a partnership, there is a deep, deep connection that brings forth the creation of something new. And so I think that intimate connection moving forward into the future is really going to be key. First of all, the intimate connection with ourselves then allows us to create intimate connections with others. The abundance of spirit, tapping into our own spirit, allows us to create that intimacy with others in a way that wasn't possible before. And I think that intimacy goes beyond just sex. You can get, like talking about being turned on by acoustics, by conversations from deep, intimate conversations, from music, from sound, from touch, and feeling it within yourself first, then allows us to create a whole different connection with others. That's my perspective of it as well. So I'd love to hear either Talis or Alexandra or anyone else, if there is anything else that you want to kind of bring forward, when it takes a look at, what is intimacy for you, and how do you see it in this deeper way? Yes, Lucretia.
First of all, it was a pleasure to listen to all these sharings and different perspectives, really nurturing and uplifting. Um, I will kind of start from the end and moving toward the beginning. I have more than 10 years of experience as a therapist, and what I have seen many times is that people have many different reasons not to be able to feel their own body. And from that, it is really impossible to have honest, deep conversation, not only with yourself, but with anybody else, because you're not really feeling yourself. And also another thing about intimacy is how you communicate. I mean, I don't think that there can be true intimacy if the communication is just not going well. From coming from this 400 plus years of the era of planning with these logical activations, thinking that we know the formula of how things can be and should be in relationships, in intimacy, even in sex, we are so deeply conditioned, we don't even realize that, I think. And think about intimacy, sex. No one can teach you that. For each one of us is always a discovery. Like, if you're lucky, it's gonna be a nice discovery. But yeah, I have also, from my therapeutical work, I have worked with so many people who had just the trial and error experience in connecting in intimacy going so wrong. Yeah, it is like that. It is always a self-discovery. You don't know. And then we are moving to this new era where there will be no logical gates. There is only the individual. And of course, one tribal gate. And then I think we will be really driven and prompted by the frequency to be much deeper in this, to surrender to this discovery. What is actually intimacy for me? Because it is like our own design. I mean, if each one of us has a totally differentiated design, this means that you're designed to connect and to experience intimacy in a totally differentiated way. And maybe for some of us, this is going to be what a relief, like no more conditioning. For others, probably is going to be freaky, like horror, like that things are not happening the way they used to happen. And I think the most important thing here is to surrender to not knowing what true intimacy, the intimacy that really uplifts your spirit, that transforms. I mean, I guess each person on this planet had at least one of these experiences, intimacy experiences, where they go out of this and they're totally transformed. They're just another different person. And this is what this is all about, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, can we
Yep.
Can we trust to, can we surrender to the not knowing and see what happens, but with the awareness of your own body and strategy and authority, and allowing this thought, this perspective that you actually may not know what this means to you.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so,
This is my
so
baby.
much, Lucretia. Yeah. And Veronica.
Yeah, because I'm also doing all the I'm managing myself with the Zoom. Anyways, actually, what I wanted to add is that actually sex is genetic. It's our genetic imperative to reproduce. And sexuality is connected to the hunger for desire, all the and we have different types of sexuality, like we have the tribal, we have the collective, we have the individual type of connection. But ultimately, um, sex leads us to bind. Love binds, and then life comes and life separates. The magnetic monopole separates from the design crystal, and then love is gone. And then all our lives, we're looking for love, looking to find that what we lost as the life began. And it is so strange that actually it's death that unites again. So I find it fascinating thinking about actually because love and intimacy and sex, they're not the same things. We can love in very different ways according also to our design. And being intimate is just the way the universe, it's its way to actually create life. And then we have the tribal, the ego sex, the emotional, individual sex, the kundalini, the collective sex. And we have different voices of sexuality, the emotional voice, the 12th gate, the 35th gate, the kundalini gate, the collective. But yet, I really love this discussion because we talk so much here about love and intimacy, and at the same time, we each have our sexual role, right? The role gates of the 59th, the role lines of the 59th gate connected to our profiles. We are designed in the way we connect. And somebody here mentioned the tonal environment and the tonal determination playing big role as well. Yes, everything in our design plays a role. But being yourself and allowing the other to be themselves, you can have the true intimate connection. And yeah, so I so much resonate with all of you, what you said. But and also looking from because I'm separately from human design, I also work with women and with alchemical Dao, which is the Chinese version of Tantra, and it has nothing to do with the Tantra channels as we know. And indeed, what I've noticed with the women I work is they don't even know their bodies. They don't know how they look intimately. there is so much shame connected to intimacy all around the world. And 20% of women have never experienced orgasm, for instance, in any kind of form. And I find this scary because it is the pleasure of our body, but we need to know our body.
Yeah.
And to connect to our body and kind of move the energy. That's my first job when I have practice, dance practice, is to move the energy from the head to the body and to the sacral. I'm a sacral generator. And explore in the bodily sensations and its wisdom. We carry such a gift to reproduce. Actually, that's how matriarchy started a long time ago, because men didn't understand, and women also, that they were the other needed half in order to reproduce, and they were um, um, thinking of the female as a goddess, the one who gives life. Then, as we progressed in human history, and we realized that they're both needed, then we moved to patriarchy, right? But all of those things are like, I can talk for hours and hours, but I'm just, pushing here and there just to give different perspectives. Yeah.
Yeah. And a couple things that I just really want to highlight that I really loved about also what you said is, again, each of us have our own individual way to connect, and there's so many aspects of our design that we can look at to connect. And at the same time, as you were mentioning, a lot of our traumas come from trying to connect intimately. Even non-sexual intimacy, oftentimes that, just trying to connect with the other is where a lot of and relationships is a lot of where our traumas arise from. And again, I think it comes, as you were saying, often from not really tuned into what our body intelligence is all about and really being stuck in our minds. We're moving to a whole new level of intelligence as we move to more emotional intelligence. And I believe as we move to emotional intelligence, when we heal that wound and, in a sense, create that intimacy within ourselves, as we spoke about earlier, we also have the opportunity to both heal and take a look at how we can be intimate and create. Because ultimately, I believe that each and every one of us are really more creative than we even know. And ultimately, when we take a look at what intimacy is all about, it's about working with others to create something amazing, right? Whether it be an actual human being, right, in that type of intimacy, or whether it's creating a business, a project, creating by working together in one way or another, by knowing ourselves, healing that within ourselves, so that that we can also work together in healing others. I would love to hear where this we could go on and on and on about this topic, and I love, love, love all of the different perspectives that we have talked about. I'd love to go through each of our speakers again and what thoughts, ideas, ahas that you would like to share, just to wrap everything up, and what you would like to leave people with as we're taking a look at sex and intimacy, what it's all about, and your perspective on how we can, move things forward and, become more intimate beings, whether it be sexual intimacy or not sexual intimacy. What can we do, and what's something practical that people can take away to look at sex and intimacy for themselves personally? And what wisdom do you have to share? Would you like to start us off, Talis?
I can try. Well, that was a long question.
That was a long question.
Um, I guess what I could practically give everybody is try to have sex without being horny. That was a very interesting experience for me to actually see what happens you and the other together, where there is not this incredible drive just to have some short, quick satisfaction for the generator or some kind of relief for the open sacrals because they take in all the sacral energy. And then it's about to communicate, you know. For me, it is very important to have a good communication. You know, I cannot just jump into the trap of love and have sex without having a good conversation. This is my design. This is me. I have the 22. I have gate 6. I need a bit of friction and a bit of acoustics and some romantic stuff. And this is, I need this. But yeah, to really meet the other in a neutral state. Obviously, you know, it's never fully neutral, but in a state of okay, we don't I don't feel for having it right now, but let's see what happens if we touch each other. Let's see what happens if we kiss. Let's see is it okay, you know? Play this game of projector generator, for example, you know. The projector asks and the generator invites, you know, or manifester informs or whatever the case may be. Include this in your sex life. This will change a lot. And for sure, it can be annoying and frustrating. And, you know, I always need to ask you, yeah, but, you know, the experience will be more clean. It will not be, you know, colored with frustration, blame, guilt, shame, all of that stuff that can come up when something is incorrect, when there's resistance. You know, you can just have an experience like, okay, that was it. Good, bad, whatever. It was, you know. So yeah, that's maybe you can try, you know, try to not go into an expectational stuff of like, okay, I need to make this and this too because it leads there. And no, it will not. It will not. Most probably it will not lead to what you think or expect. So yeah, talking about coming back to this innocent state that actually we can experience in sexuality and in intimacy. It's here to have an innocent foundation. It's just because of all this conditioning and religion and parents and teachers and whatever. This is bad and this is good and you shouldn't do this, and you know we have all these mind games going on. You know? But it's actually a very innocent, supernatural thing.
I love that.
What I
I
think.
love that. Thank you so, so much. Beautiful. Yeah, Lucretia, and then we'll go to Alexandra.
There is a comment, a question in the chat box from Zane. Can anyone expand on the topic of asexuality? We see this more common and in correlation to the mutation. If I speak for myself, I notice that touch and hugging and physical contact is very pleasant, but when it goes beyond that, the idea actually makes me pull away. Does that have to do with the mutation or also with one's personal design? It's such an interesting topic. Thank you for sharing this, Sane, being so open and honest. For sure, we don't know how this mutation is going to work for each one of us. When the new era, the locks and keys of the new era take place after 2027, and this frequency of the 3420 is going to be like really amplified, really there globally. It is said that gate 34 is asexual, like it's not really interested in sex particularly, but is more interested being individuated and being busy with what they love. So, you know, I don't think that anyone can answer your question and put it like, you know, like one, like some concrete truth out there for everybody. I think we're going to discover this for ourselves, how the mutation is going to run through each one of these bodies on this planet. But again, correctness is always key. Like if I don't want to go beyond that, however you have wrote it, if you don't want to go beyond that, then you don't want to go beyond that.
Yeah.
If you want to go
Beautiful.
deeper into that and have an analysis, then you may probably look for some professional with whom you, of course, you need to resonate with, because there are many talented professionals out there, really good, but you can only receive support and help from any professional if you feel that you're open to them. If you don't feel open to them, they may be brilliant, they not be able to help you. So yeah, if you want to look for deeper answers to your questions, you may see someone who is really profound and expert in this area, and so you can have a conversation with such person that can really help you to reflect your truth, and then you can have really probably amazing discoveries.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, Lucretia, and thank you for the question as well. And um Hannele, or
Hannele, Hannele.
Hannele. Yeah, so I would love to hear if you have any practical things that you want to leave anyone here with everyone, or if there is something that you want to also say to the question that came up as well.
Um, I try to keep it short because I can also go on forever. A lot of stuff came up. So when we start to mix love into this, we get a completely different game, because intimacy is intimacy and sex is sex and love is love. And if you look at the design, there's only one love gate that has sex connected to it, and that's the 41. And the 41 is the start of the human experiential way, and it's also the start of the new year. So it's also in the pressure center. So sex is a driving force for humanity in some, or has been, let's say. And it's a pressure. And when we look at the conditioning, we have all been conditioned to need to have sex. You know, I mean, it's obviously it's a part of our genetics. It's how we are wired. It's a reproductive thing, but it's also in the human experiential way. So it's like we fantasize about sex, and there's this enormous pressure to have it. So, you know, like you can even movies, anything that you watch, like there's always this whole thing, like, okay, if you go on a date with someone, are you supposed to have sex with them on the first night, for example? I mean, things like that. I mean, we've just been conditioned to have sex, and it's a pressure. And when I'm thinking about the role of the solar plexus and the mutation, it's basically it's slowing down the pressure, right? So I mean, I have the 30th gate, so I mean, I meet the 41 all the time. And of course, the 41 looks up to the 30. Oh, you're exactly what I want. You know, I wanted to have that. And I come and I say, you're not going to have that. You're going to have a different experience. So, you know, like I can really see how the solar plexus is here to kind of stop some of that pressure, you know, in mutation. Of course, we have other things going on in the mutation, which is like you know, being attracted to more similar kind of people than opposites and things like that. But I'm not going to go there. I was just thinking in terms of when we look at love and sex and all of that stuff, it's actually pressure. And it takes your own authority to really know when your no is no. You know, it's really a thing. I mean, I think especially as generators, I mean, I'm sure it goes across the board, but one of the hardest things is to say no. You know, because especially as a generator, you have energy, you want to use it every day. So, you know, you want to respond to things. And then if you don't, there's nothing satisfying to respond to, then okay, well, let's make it about sex then. We have to have that because at least that's satisfying. Also, we think. So we have this enormous pressure. So when we're looking at the, let's say, asexuality or let's say not being so interested in sex anymore, I'm not so sure that it's anything but a natural thing in terms of the consciousness and the awareness, how it's changing. Is we becoming more aware of ourselves, we're becoming more authentic. Therefore, we become more aware of what is correct for us and what is not, of the pressures, of the conditioning, all of that stuff. So within that, I mean, we're all individuals, so we have all our own paths in that. But we start to find that, okay, maybe it's not the sex that is the most important thing in this planet, you know. It has been because we've been conditioned that way. But now, I mean, times are changing. And, the mutation is happening in the 55, the 49, and also the 59. I mean, there's a whole stream. So, there's a lot going on in there. So I don't think I mean, I can kind of see that it can be concerning to see these changes. I mean, I have contemplated myself, all these questions, but it's really about knowing what turns you on and what doesn't. And if something doesn't turn you on, don't do it.
Mm.
And I mean, this is an awful word to bring up because I think words are really important, but I think it's an important word. It's like every time you say yes, when you actually mean to say no, you're raping yourself.
Mm.
So, talking about intimacy, talking about penetration, talking about sexual, all of that stuff, don't let yourself be raped, Just be true to yourself and know when you say no.
Wow.
And then obviously, one more thing, allow yourself to have enough time, especially if you're emotional, to let that stuff happen naturally if it's there to happen naturally. Again, it's a pressure, so don't get it over with, like be with it. See if it's something that, you want to do or not with that person or with someone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very, very powerful. Thank you so, so very much. Beautiful. And let's go to Alexander and then we'll go to Lucretia.
Oh, well, I have three bridge gates in the throat, and in this stage of my experiment, I'm so happy to feel relaxed when I feel like I have nothing to say and be okay with this. There is so many fantastic things I heard right now, and I I was only thinking about another nuance, that the gates of solar plexus, that almost all of them are in the quarter of initiation, and that yes, it is about learning. It is about innocence. We don't know. We discover each one's unique way of intimacy or not. We discover ourselves. We learn. We expand mental and other kinds of horizons of our awareness. And I remembered this one short video that I saw about the woman that really, literally married herself.
Mm.
It was a documentary, a short documentary about the woman that had strange experiences in the relationships and in other life topics, and she just decided to do it. Yeah, and all the stuff with the church, with the father, with all this, with the friends, and with the rings, and this is where it can start, I think.
Mm.
If I am intimate with myself, and this is not like, oh, I'm intimate and that's it. No, it is kind of it is learning, it is discovering. If I'm on this way of being intimate with myself, of being, uh, yeah, of not betraying myself, moment by moment, then I can start to have this jewel of what you guys said, communication. The honest, authentic communication is the sweetest thing that there is. I don't know what kind of more intimate thing can happen. Yes, it can happen, but the communication itself is so rich. It can be so different. And if it is, well, I don't want to say correct. If it is natural, if it is flowing, if it is, yeah, innocent. It is so beautiful. And then we can discover each one's intimacy and one's intimacy with the other. Yeah. Mm,
Mm,
there are
yeah.
so much stuff to ponder. I don't want to I I don't hear anything inside, and I don't want to bring up something else to just add to
Yeah.
tons of gold that are there already.
Yeah. Beautifully, beautifully said, Alexandra. Thank you. Thank you so, so very, very much. Fabulous.
Thank you, Karen. You have a great voice.
Oh, thank you. And let's go to Lucretia and then we will wrap everything up.
As someone who has the 3420, I'm a manifesting generator, and talking about the new era, which is going to have this same frequency, I would like to share very quickly with you an experience of my life when I was like 25, like really in my prime, with all the hormones like really going on in this body like crazy, and should have been really driving me to have like huge desire for sex. But I spent 1 year at a job that was so perfect for me for my design, like beyond perfect. And I was waking up with a smile on my face, going to this job, and I was having literally, I think I was having the feeling that I'm like in a fantasy world. Like I was like, oh, is this really happening to me? So all the people there, all the activities in the jobs, like nothing was not correct. And in these young years and this job in this 1 year, I don't think I ever thought about sex at all. I was having some sexy guys around asking me on dates, but I can very well remember how I was like not interested, probably because my sacral energy was so deeply involved with this um, job that I was like, I was having a love affair with my job. So I was totally not interested in guys and sex. So this is something that, yeah, especially, people who are generator type, they can have this kind of experience as well.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Lucretia. And oh my goodness, we could go on and on and on. I feel like we're just starting to, touch the tip of the iceberg of what sex, what intimacy is all about, how it shows up for each of us individually, in both, um, with sexual partners, but also what intimacy is just within ourselves. I love what you said about, kind of marrying ourselves and being true to ourselves so that we can then connect intimately and communicate intimately with others. And, there's so much of this that we can unpack, looking at your own design, looking at, what really does turn you on, and looking at, if it is a yes or if it is a no. And if it is a no, oh, what you said, Hannele, is, that, it's sort of like, as you said, kind of raping yourself if you are saying yes to things that aren't truly correct for you. So really powerful, powerful conversation. Thank you so very much. And Veronica, I wanted to just see before we wrap up if there's anything that you wanted to say specifically about inviting people to the festival and what's in store, and also to have people register because you have some discounts currently, and I don't know if there's anything else that you would like to say in inviting people to join us at the festival.
Absolutely, guys. You see our lecturers, our speakers, and actually, Hannele last time had a full blown topic about the non-sexual side of the 59.6 channel. So right on the topic. But if you resonate to what you hear and you would like to connect, you're more than welcome to join us at the festival. And now, until the 30th of November, we have a Black Friday discount. Anyways, the tickets we tried this year to make them as cheap as possible so that as many people can join. But still, we live in a seven-centered world, so you do have the 10% discount on the Black Friday. And if you want to use that, it would be amazing to have you guys join. Would you like to join us and spend these few days together, supporting each other, sharing our experiences, and diving deep into different human design topics? We would love to have you join.
Beautiful. And are you still looking for volunteers as well?
Oh yeah, that's actually the people behind the scenes are the volunteer team, and we're so grateful for those who support us. And if you want to take part in the festival for a fraction of the price and support this transformative event, please do join the volunteer team. We had yesterday a great meeting with the volunteers. So just ping us, send us a message, and we'll take it from there. Would you like to join the volunteer team and support us to bring this event to reality? We would love to have you.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you, each and every one of you. It has been such a pleasure to connect, to hear your perspectives, to hear your voice. And I really, truly invite each and every one of you to meet us in person, coming to Sofia in January. And if you can't attend live, to also attend online as well, to continue to connect, to continue to hear the different voices, to continue to hear the different perspectives that allow us to see the world in a completely different way and recognize that each of us has our own brilliance. And when we connect, when we collaborate, when we share our own outer authority, we make a difference for others. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It has been our absolute pleasure. And if you want to unmute and say goodbye, we will sign off for today. And thank you all so, so very much. And look forward to seeing you at the festival. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Bye. Thank you,
Bbye-bye. Thank
Karen.
you. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, guys.
Pierre.
Veronica. Thank
It's
you,
a pleasure
Lucretia.
meeting you
Goodbye.
all.